Good evening. This is VK2WI. Tonight's news broadcast from Amateur Radio New South Wales originates from the VK2WI facilities at Dural, Sydney, which is staffed by the volunteers of our broadcast team. Transmissions this evening are being made on frequencies between 160 metres and 23 centimetres. The announcer will advise on the transmitter status. In addition, automated relays will carry the broadcast through some regional VHF and UHF repeaters, and we thank the custodians of these systems for making the service available. Now, here are your announcer and engineer with this evening's news.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. Your announcer tonight is Stuart, VK2BMX, with Peter, VK2EMU as engineer. The weather here tonight is cool and cloudy, with a temperature outside of around 12 degrees Celsius and dropping. Rainfall at VK2WI site over the last week was 3 millimetres up to 1900 hours tonight. Our transmitter status is all okay.
This is a news broadcast from VK2WI. March 2010 marked 100 years of the WIA, the world's oldest amateur radio society. It was started in 1910 as a result of a meeting held in Sydney by a group of experimenters seeking a better deal. This is VK2WI. We now continue with this evening's news.
In the news from Amateur Radio New South Wales for this week, places are filling fast for the next ARNSW Foundation course and assessment weekend. It's on Wednesday of September the 15th and 16th here at VK2WI Dural. Register your interest by email to education@arnsw.org.au. Also, that weekend is a foundation course run by the Waverley ARS at Rose Bay in Sydney's eastern suburbs. The final ARNSW Foundation course for the year is on November the 10th and 11th. September's ARNSW Trash and Treasure is on Sunday the 30th, the last Sunday of the month. If you took part in the RD contest, don't forget to submit your log. Every entry helps the overall state total. For something a little different in education and assessment, the AusVE group is running US Amateur Licence Examination session in Sydney on Saturday the 22nd of September. It will be held at Waitara in the northern suburbs of Sydney, commencing at 8:15 a.m. Julian, a VK2YJS, is coordinating the day, and more information is on the group's website, veeexams.com. That's veexams.com. Now we're up to the weekly solar and geophysical report for the period of the 17th to the 23rd of August. First, the summary. Dates across the columns are 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd and the 23rd. 10 centimetre flux. 67, 67, 67, 68, 68, 67 and finally 70. Fredericksburg Index, the AFR. 14, 11, 8, 15, 6, 8, 5. Australian Index, the AAUS, 7, 9, 5, 12, 4, 3, 2 estimated. T Index, 10, 2, -4, +2, -8, -5, and finally -2. Solar flare activity was very low all week. Geomagnetic activity was quiet to unsettled on the 17th, briefly becoming quiet to active on the 18th, then returning to quiet on the 19th. The 20th saw quiet to active conditions, with the SWS magnetometer recording at weak impulse of 9 nanoteslas at 140.47 UTC. But after this, things settled down, with activity remaining at quiet levels from the 21st through to the 23rd. F2 critical frequencies in the southern Australian region were near predicted during local day on the 17th and enhanced 20% during local night. The 18th was near predicted all day, then the 19th was depressed 15% during local day, returning to near predicted during local nights. The 20th was mostly near predicted. The 21st was depressed to 20% during local day, though night was near predicted. Then the 22nd and 23rd remained near predicted monthly values. Now the forecast for the 24th to the 30th of August. Solar activity is expected to be very low. Geomagnetic activity is expected to be at quiet to unsettled levels, with a possibility of active to minor storm conditions between the 24th and 25th of August. If any glancing CME effects eventuate, maximum usable frequency should be near predicted monthly values, though higher altitude depressions are possible if the geomagnetic storm activity eventuates. Data courtesy of Space Weather Services. The Solar Flux Index update. Here are the updated Solar Flux Index, the SFI figures for this week. Looking back at July, the figures for the month were a minimum of 66, average of 70, and a maximum of 73, with peak dates between the 7th and 21st. Now to August, and the prediction so far is a minimum of 67, average of 69, and a maximum of 70, with peak dates between the 2nd and the 11th, and the 24th to the 31st. And looking ahead to the prediction for September, we expect minimum of 66, average of 67, and a maximum of 68, with peak dates between the 12th and 16th. Update with thanks to Noel of VK2FUL.
The news broadcast from VK2WI. To submit news for inclusion in these sessions, please email it to news@arnsw.org.au by the end of business on Friday. You can help us with presentation by writing your news item in the third person and limiting it to about one A4 page in an easily read font. This is VK2WI. We now continue with this evening's news.
What use is an EPCOL? Tonight we continue with the series written and produced by Ono, the VK6FLAB. Each episode looks at different aspects of the diverse hobby of amateur radio.
What use is an EPCOL? An experience on a local mailing list this week made me consciously consider for the first time that I'm a member of a community in amateur radio. Now this might sound completely obvious to you, but consider this. Amateur radio, as we know it today, has been around for over 100 years. I've just downloaded the first annual official wireless Blue Book, updated to May of 1909. It's a call book. You'd recognize it instantly. In its 19 pages, it lists call signs, locations, and transmission power, even allocated wavelengths, in the United States and Canada. It also contains a handwritten list of updates and annotations, as well as sponsorship announcement for Modern Electrics and the Electro Importing Company, with a list of wireless goods that will make you sit up and take notice. I've been playing and working with computers for several decades. My first computer was a Commodore VIC-20. In 1982, I was the first person in my class to own their own computer. That's nearly 3 decades ago, and that's only a third of the way towards this call book. Why am I making such a big deal about how long amateur radio has been around? There's one simple reason. It still exists. It hasn't imploded, it hasn't faded, innovation is still being made, development is ongoing, and people are still joining today. The amateur community is one that appears to foster innovation and change. Even though some might think this is a stodgy bore, the truth is nothing like it. When you buy a different car, all of a sudden there are more cars like yours on the road. Everywhere you turn, there's another one just like yours. For me, amateur radio is just like that. Everywhere I turn, there's amateur radio. Last week, on the morning interview with Margaret Throsby on ABC Classic FM, there was an interview with Dick Smith, who was describing flying a helicopter solo around the world and finding a refueling ship in the middle of the Pacific Ocean before GPS navigation, using an amateur radio beacon that he and his ham radio mates built from parts from Dick's shop. A community exists because of its participants. That is, the people in the community engage with each other to pursue their community. While there is merit in sitting behind your radio listening to conversations that are being held around you, there is much to be gained from pushing on the talk button too. Last week I met an amateur on air in Parabadoo. His voice was being overwhelmed by what I suspect were galahs. Without amateur radio and me keying the mic, I would have never made contact with him and some of his friends. For me, it recalled an earlier time when I spent several years travelling around Australia. When I get on the road again, I'll never feel that I'm without the community that has existed for many years without me, and no doubt will continue long after I'm no longer here. While I cannot make you talk on air, and there's no reason that you must, I would like to encourage you to try. It's all part of our community. I'm Ono, VK6 Fox Lima Alpha Bravo.
For more information about the series, you can contact Ono via email to ono@itmaze.com.au, and that IT is itmaze.com.au, or follow him on Twitter at VK6FLAB. And now we're up to the ARRLDX news. Cyprus operators Emil DL8JJ and Paul G4PVM, Norman 5B4AIE and Cole MM0NDX will be active as C4II from Agios Georgios Island, IOTA AS-120 until August 26. Activity will be on 80 to 10 metres using CW, SSB and FT8 and on 6 metres depending on operating conditions. Easter Island, Otis NP4G will be active as CE0Y/NP4G until August 29. Activity will be holiday style on 40 to 10 metres using CW and FT8. Ireland, Station EJ0DXG is active from Bere Island, IOTA EU-121 until August 26 as part of the third activation of the Irish Islands IOTA Tour 2018. Moldova, Roberto 1K, that should be IK1HGE, is active as ERIK1HGE from Nisporini until September the 1st. Activity is on 80 to 10 metres using only SSB. France, Reg G3WPF is active with special event call TM100HAB until September 4 to commemorate 100 years since the liberation of Hardecourt au Bois in the Somme in World War I. Activity is on 160 to 6 metres using CW and some single sideband. England, members of the Pontefract and District Amateur Radio Society are active as a GB250CC until September 19 to commemorate the beginning of Captain Cook's first voyage 250 years ago. Republic of Korea, Special Event Station D73V is active until the end of August to commemorate the 73rd anniversary of Korea's independence. Minami Torishima, Take JG8NQJ is active as JD1/JG8NQJ while delayed on Marcus Island, IOTA OC-073 and remains here until September 6. Bulgaria, Special Event Station LZ35BAR is active until August 31 during the 35th FAI World Freefall Style and Accuracy Landing Championships. Presumably that's parachuting. Czech Republic, Special Event Station that's OL100 CSR is active until October 31 to celebrate the founding of Czechoslovakia 100 years ago. Slovak Republic, Special Event Station OM100 CSR is active until October 31 to celebrate the founding of Czechoslovakia 100 years ago. Curaçao, Charles NK80 will be active as PJ2/NK80 from August 27 to September the 2nd. Activity will be holiday style on 20 to 10 metres using QRP power and during his daylight hours. Greece. Members of the Saloniki amateur group will be active as Special Event Station SX10HF during their 10th Ham Festival. Turkey. Members of the 2018 Turkish Ankara Youth Contest Team will be active as TC2F from August 29 to September 4. Activity will be on the HF bands, including an entry in the upcoming All-Asian DX SSB contest. Burkina Faso. Elaine, F8 FUA is active as XT2BR from Ouagadougou until August 29. Activity is on the HF bands using CW, SSB, RTTY and FT8. Kosovo, Franco, IZ5YHD is active as Z6/IZ5YHD/P until August 26th. Activity is holiday style on the various HF bands using SSB. Macedonia, Franco, IZ5YHD will be active as Z3/IZ5YHD from Ohrid from August 27 to 31. Activity will be on 80 to 10 metres using SSB. This weekend on the radio, the Hawaii QSO Party QRP 20 metre CW Fox Hunt, the NCCC RTTY Sprint, NCCC CW Sprint Ladder, Alara Contest, YODX HF Contest, SCC RTTY Championships, W/VE Islands QSO Party, Kansas QSO Party, Ohio QSO Party, CVA DX SSB Contest, 50 MHz Fall Sprint and SARL HF Contest are all on this weekend. The CW Ops, Mini CWT, CW Test and Phone Fray are scheduled for August 29. The ARRL International Grid Chase continues throughout 2018. Now we come to the Wyson News. Wyson New South Wales is an independent incorporated organisation that provides communication support during emergencies and assists in the operation of community events and sporting events which take place over a long course or in a remote area. Wyson is accredited by the New South Wales Volunteer Rescue Association and is listed in the New South Wales Government's DISPAN or Disaster Plan. Our congratulations to the 8 Wyson members who completed their induction training here at ARNSW in Dural last Sunday. Hunter Region Wyson needs more operators for the Great North Walk. That's the Great North Walk Ultras, are a series of trail races from Terralba to Patonka Wharf on the 8th and 9th of September. If you are available on these days, please contact Wyson Operations as soon as possible. Later in September is the Barrington SAREX or Search and Rescue exercise on the 14th to 16th, built around the search for the missing Cessna 210M VH-MDX. The Hounslow Classic is a running event centred around Blackheath on the 22nd and 23rd, presumably that's September. October the 27th and 28th are the Hawkesbury Canoe Classic and the Wiseman's Dash. These events raise funds for the Bone Marrow Transplant Foundation. October 14th is Volunteer Memorial Day. The Wyson website at nsw.wyson.org.au and the Facebook users will find an official Wyson New South Wales page and an informal national Wyson group. Wyson Northern Rivers holds a weekly net on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. local time on the Lismore repeater, VK2RSC on 146.8 MHz, requiring a 123 Hz tone. Listen for VK2WIR. Wyson Mid-North Coast region meets at 3:30 p.m. on the first Saturday of the month at SES Headquarters, Central Road, Port Macquarie. The region is also running an HF net on Thursday evenings from 7 p.m. on the band plan's 80-metre Wyson frequency of 3.6 MHz. Wyson ACT is part of the Canberra Region Amateur Radio Club, supporting events in the ACT and Capital Country. The ACTERA Brookvale Horse Endurance Ride is on September the 29th and 30th. In October, the ANU Inward Bound Adventure race is on the 5th and 6th. Then both Fitz Challenge and Whitwood Carriage Driving event are on the 28th. See the Wyson and events pages on www.crarc.ampr.org. Wyson Victoria has a net on 3.6 MHz each Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. local time. Coming events include the field weekend at Lauriston Scout Camp in the Macedon Ranges on the 5th and 6th of October and the Stockman's Rally at Big River on Sunday the 28th. For details, visit the website at vic.wyson.org.au. Submitted by Julian, VK2WIJS, on behalf of the Wyson New South Wales State Management Committee.
This is a news broadcast from VK2WI. For voice contact with Amateur Radio New South Wales, telephone 02 9651 1490, which will take you to our message bank. For written contact, write to PO Box 6044, Dural Delivery Centre, New South Wales 2158, or email office@arnsw.org.au. This is VK2WI. We now continue with this evening's news.
And now we're up to club news. We start this week with news from the Oxley Region Amateur Radio Club. The next meeting of the club is the September monthly general meeting at 2 p.m. on Saturday the 1st of September at the SES building in Port Macquarie. Last Sunday, club station VK2WI participated in the International Lighthouse and Lightship Weekend. The station was set up in the club's communication caravan at the Tacking Point Lighthouse. The weather was perfect until the wind arrived as forecast late in the afternoon. As the station was being packed up, that's when the wind hit. Most of the activity was on 20 metres this year. Signals on 80 and 40 metres were not as strong as usual, and the persistent noise level made copy difficult on those bands. The day was very enjoyable with breakfast and lunch from the barbecue. A good cross-section of members took the opportunity to operate the station, helping to make the day a great success. Candidates for the Foundation, Standard and Advanced licences can contact the club via PO Box 712 Port Macquarie, New South Wales 2444. Training courses and assessments for the Advanced, Standard and Foundation licences run once sufficient candidates have registered their interest. The club conducts 2 nets each week. The midweek net starts at 7:30 p.m. on Thursday nights, and the weekend net takes place from 9 a.m. on Sunday mornings. Both nets are on the VK2RMP 2-metre repeater on 146.7 MHz. This repeater requires a 91.5 Hz subaudible tone for access. Visitors are always made very welcome at the club's monthly general meetings at 2 p.m. on the first Saturday of each month, and at the Friday night gathering at 7 p.m. on the evening of the third Friday of each month. The venue for all these meetings is the SES building in Port Macquarie. For more information about the club, visit the website at orarc.org. The site contains a wealth of amateur radio items in addition to club information. The July 2018 issue of the club's bi-monthly newsletter, Oxtails, is now available to read on the website, and past issues can be viewed there as well. Submitted by Henry, VK2ZAG, for the Oxley Region Amateur Radio Club. Central Coast Amateur Radio Club. Last week's lecture was by Graham, VK2GRA, on the use and abuse of oscilloscopes and their limitations. This was followed by a donation of probes for the club's own CRO, by a member who shall remain anonymous for modesty reasons and a demonstration of the 12-volt DC plug-back from hell. Next month's lecture will be on Saturday the 15th of September, and the topic will be the GPS system by Dave of VK2KFU. Due to the Shazada horse enduro being held in the last week of August, the usual business meeting has been postponed to the following Saturday, the 8th of September. Naturally, all are welcome, especially visitors. For those looking to get licensed or upgrade, a foundation training and assessment day has been set for the 22nd of September. Please confirm your attendance as soon as possible with Karen of VK2AKB. All meetings of the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club are held at the club's rooms in Dandaloo Street, Carryong, just past the fire station. At 1 p.m, just look for the big tower, preceded by the obligatory sausage sizzle starting at noon. The club rooms are accessible by bus, with a bus stop just opposite Dandaloo Street, serviced by the Route 34 bus from Gosford Railway Station and that goes every hour. The club rooms are usually open from 10:30 every Saturday for general chit-chat and access to the workshop and library. The club relays a VK2WI news broadcast every Saturday morning and evening. Callbacks are taken after the morning news only on the Summersby 6-metre and 2-metre repeaters. That's the VK2RAG on 53.725 for 6 metres and 146.725 MHz for 2 metres. Please note that both repeaters require sub-audible tone of 91.5 Hz. The club also runs a mixed mode repeater VK2RAG on 439.950 MHz, which is connected to the P25 network using the NAC 293, and a 91.5 Hz tone is required for analog access and is highly recommended for receiving. There is a net held every Thursday on the 2-metre repeater VK2RAG on 146.725 starting at 8 p.m, and all members are encouraged to join, especially if club news for the AR NSW broadcast is involved. The club also has a Facebook page. Just look for the Central Coast ARC and a Twitter account at CCARC Club, pronounced CCAR Club. More information about the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club can be found on the website at ccarc.org.au. This was provided by Dave, VK2KFU, Publicity Officer for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club. Fisher's Ghost Amateur Radio Club. The next monthly meeting, and that's a general meeting of the Fisher's Ghost Amateur Radio Club, is this Wednesday the 29th of August in Block M at the Campbelltown School of Performing Arts, Beverley Road, Campbelltown, commencing at 7:30 p.m. Visitors wishing to learn more about the hobby of amateur radio are most welcome to attend. The club's weekly net on Thursday evening starts at 7:30 p.m. on the club repeater VK2RFG. Anyone is welcome to check in. The repeater has a negative 7 MHz input and a 91.5 Hz CTCSS tone is required for access. A 91.5 Hz tone is also sent. To find out more about the club's activities, visit the website at fgarc.org.au. Submitted by Peter, VK2PR, on behalf of the Fisher's Ghost Amateur Radio Club. Hornsby and District Amateur Radio Club. The next Haddock meeting is the monthly general meeting on Tuesday the 28th of August starting at 8 p.m. The meeting is at the Mount Colar Community Centre in Pierre Close, Mount Colar, on the eastern side of the railway station. At the meeting, Kevin, VK2KVJ, will present a talk on diplexes. Saturday the 22nd of September is the centenary of the Marconi Fisk message. Operation of a special event station, VK2 100 Marconi, will be at St Andrew's Anglican Church from 11 a.m. and the Monument 1 p.m. The club runs 3 nets each week, Monday nights from 8 p.m. on the 2-metre repeater, the VK2RNS, on 147.25 MHz. No tone is required, but a 91.5 Hz tone is sent. The 80-metre net is on Wednesday evenings on 3608.5 kHz, also from 8 p.m, and Morning Tea with Haddock is on or near 7106 kHz from 9 a.m. on Fridays. For more information on nets and other club activities, the website is at www.haddock.org.au. The club has a group on Facebook which can be found by searching for VK2MA and on Twitter at VK2MA. Submitted by Julian, a VK2YJS, Haddock Publicity Officer.
This is VK2WI nearing the end of tonight's news bulletin. The text version of this bulletin will be available from Monday on the Amateur Radio New South Wales website. Also on this site you can find details of our services, membership and general information about amateur radio. The address is www.arnsw.org.au. This is VK2WI. We now continue with this evening's news.
And now we're up to the summary of coming events. August, Haddock monthly meeting on the 28th. Fisher's Ghost ARC meeting on the 29th. September, Oxley Region ARC meeting on the 1st. St George ARS gathering on the 5th. CC ARC business meeting a week later than usual on Saturday the 8th. Great North Walk Ultra, a Wyson event on the 8th and 9th. Barrington Sarex, a Wyson event from the 14th to the 16th. ARNSW Foundation and Assessment Weekend on the 15th and 16th. Waverley ARS Foundation Weekend on the 15th and 16th. Centenary of the first direct message from the UK to Australia via radio on the 22nd. Central Coast ARC Foundation Training and Assessment Day on the 22nd. Canberra Region ARC Foundation Weekend and Assessment on the 22nd and 23rd. And the ARNSW Trash and Treasure and Radio Experimenters Group meeting on the 30th. In October, St George ARS gathering on the 3rd. Jota and Jotai on the 20th and 21st, and the Hawkesbury Canoe Race, a Wyson event on the 27th and 28th. Submitting news items. To submit items for inclusion in our news bulletins, please email to news@arnsw.org.au by the Friday night preceding the broadcast. Audio items can be accepted, but please email in advance to make arrangements. The broadcast roster. Next Sunday morning the announcer will be Puneet, VK2GRO, with Stuart, VK2BMX as engineer. I'm back here again next Sunday. Then in the evening the announcer will be Peter, VK2EMU, who is here tonight as engineer, with Eric, VK2EJH as engineer. And that concludes our news for tonight. Your announcer has been Stuart, VK2BMX as your engineer, and Peter, I've been the announcer and your engineer has been Peter, VK2EMU. Callbacks will be taken shortly. Please call back to the relay station that provided the broadcast to you. On the Mount Bindo repeater, the VK2RDX, callbacks will be taken shortly and the numbers relayed to VK2WI. Here at VK2WI, we will listen for callbacks for those who took the broadcast directly. From the announcer's booth, I will start with 20 metres, then followed by 80, 40, and 30, and finally 160 metres. In engineering, Peter will take callbacks on 10 metres and the VHF and UHF frequencies, and he will advise the order. All the best from the broadcast team here at the VK2WI. Have a great week and thank you for listening.